A strange thumbnail, right? We have a lot to ignore today. Let's get into it. Is it Luke? I think that's a K. Luke 222. First, congrats. Hit that like button for some good luck today. Pull up a hot cup if you got one. I got some goods from the LCS, local coin shop. I think you may enjoy them. In case you're still half asleep like I am, please hit that like button. You want more videos like these? Prove it. Raise me up and I will destroy your enemies. And I promise not to get corrupt. You have my word. Can you believe I could only get 5 rolls of nickels from the bank? What the heck? That's a no bueno. I'm gonna have to figure something out. Just in case you are new to this absolutely amazing YouTube channel, I have many habits I try to stay consistent with. And one is I buy $20 a week of nickels on average. And I fill 5-gallon water bottles, one in each room of my home. Just one. You can't put them next to each other because I think it will destroy the floor. Yeah, so that is mostly how I stack copper bullion. Another weekly habit that may be as equally unimpressive to some is I buy an old silver dollar every week. I have one to add to the pile today. Week 66. That's right, it's been 66 weeks. Where does the time go? That's right, it flies. It always does, right? And if time's gonna fly, my stack shall soon be high. Now, do I think you should be stacking an old silver dollar each week? No, I'm not even sure I should be doing it. But I sure do like how it looks when they pile up. Also, this is not a short-term plan to, say, capitalize on a market spike on silver. This is a long-term play. Hopefully, I'm around for a long term. I do like the ratio of collectability and intrinsic value that each one possesses. A Morgan dollar contains a little bit more than 3/4 of a troy ounce of silver. 0.77344 troy ounces, if you want to be technical. But they are also silver dollars that we used here in the States over 100 years ago. But of course, you already know that. I think I like them the same way someone likes collecting old tools. Because that's what they are. They're an old tool. Ever since I was a child, I've always been fascinated with trade. Not only one party, but both parties can actually benefit from a trade. Because each party may have different exposure to different markets. They know different people. They have different connections. So a trade doesn't always have to be the transfer of value. It can actually create value. And if you think about it, that's amazing. That's like energy from seemingly nowhere, emerging. And think not. I mean, you can take the value that you've gained and buy energy products with it. Now, you may say trade is simply business. And you'd be right, but I think there's an element that's missing. Something that gets lost when we merely use our day-to-day currency. Why do we use our day-to-day currency? Because everyone has different wants and needs, and bartering specific items doesn't always facilitate them at the time. Say you have a dozen eggs and I have a quart of oil. I need the eggs, but you don't need the oil. And you certainly don't feel like storing it or carrying it around. Or vice versa. Say you need the oil, but I don't need the eggs. And what am I going to do with the eggs? They're going to go bad. So I have a very limited time I can trade with them. Plus, they're fragile. This is why people started using money. But what I'm thinking about today is that final trade. The final trade would be, say, I do want the eggs. I'm ready to eat them now. And you do need and want that oil, and you're ready to use it right away. That's a perfect trade. Maximum value was just unlocked. If you already know all this stuff, please comment below. This is just me thinking with my coffee in the morning. I didn't go to college, and I don't regret it. I'm just thinking to myself that they say it's the velocity of the money, how it moves around, that creates extra value. But I'm thinking to myself today, maybe it's when those final trades are unlocked. You're probably watching saying, oh, great, genius, you just figured out what retail is. And yeah, the more middlemen you get rid of, the more each party would benefit, the manufacturer and the final customer, or the producer and the consumer. Maybe that's the problem with our currency today. There's too many middlemen siphoning the value from the production all the way to the consumer. This is no secret. They admittedly say they aim for 2% inflation. So at the very least, they want to take away 2% of your purchasing power from your currency through inflation. So by the time I get the eggs and you get the oil, there's at least 2% less of each. Or it costs 2% more. Or maybe it's like today and it's both. I wonder what it was like when people used these Morgan dollars instead of our dollars today. Maybe prices were more stable, but velocity was slower. After all, these are intrinsically valuable, so there's no rush to spend them. You don't have to worry about 2% being siphoned off every year. Oh, some interesting finds at the LCS. The local coin shop. Not the local comic shop this time. I go to that one too. My coin shop lets me search through the dimes, quarters, half dollars when I buy them. Maybe yours does too. If you've gone fishing through them, I'm sure you've seen some old, slick coins eroded down to the bone. I usually stay away from those. But I think these may be actually nice. Let me know what you think. Either way, I didn't pay any special premium on these. Just the daily junk price. So I'm not going too far out on a limb here. But I think, once again, I've picked the marshmallows out of the cereal. He did kind of look at them when I was purchasing them, saying, I think you did good here. I see barbers in the dimes all the time, but I still opt for the Mercuries because they're not slick. Or at least I don't buy the slick Mercs. I kind of rub them with my fingers to make sure there's an edge. But these barbers seem a little more pronounced than usual. Or maybe it's just me expanding my appreciation. But I do think they're nice. I mean, I don't like anything taking me away from my Mercs. I'll freeze it so we can look at them a bit longer. Oh, and I'll flip these over so we can see the reverse. I'm not sure what my problem is, but I feel like a deer in headlights when I look at these. A little less meat, but a lot more flavor. They're creating passion, and passion in finance can create inefficiency. But it does make the long road of investing interesting. What could you buy 100 years ago with one of these dimes? If I remember correctly, a quart of milk, and you can still buy a quart of milk with one today. All right, here's a really nice quarter that I found. I think it's the best of the bunch here. He's got a cold sore. I think it's a he. Some of these women on the old coins have quite the jawline. I guess they had to be tougher back then. Yeah, but this is in pretty good shape. Denver Mint. I can see the lines on the shield. The security edge and the lettering look amazing. Some feather action. Not robust, but it's there. You can even kind of make out the E pluribus unum on the banner. I'm not a big E pluribus unum fan, collectivism crap, but I am a fan of old quarters in nice condition. Let me know what you think about that quarter in the comments below, especially if you're like someone who would know. These Standing Liberties seen better days, but I thought they still looked kind of nice. Liberty is a bit worn out, kind of like it is today. But the rest of the quarter has pretty good detail. They popped. They seem like something I don't see very often. I wasn't expecting to buy quarters. I actually accidentally dumped them in the $50 and spotted these while I was fishing them out. You know, I feel some airtight shopping about to take place. They just seem like they should be protected. Of course, I'll see if I can find a good bulk deal. Maybe even some for the dimes. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we'll see if the price is right. Here's what I was after, a couple $50. I didn't even mean to buy the dimes in the quarters. Now, these look cleaned, and I'm not a fan of cleaned. But they also looked pretty meaty. So, less flavor, but a lot of protein. It's kind of become an unofficial habit to pick up 2 of these each week for some lower premium silver exposure. Look at the reverse on these dimes. Aren't they nice? I don't know. Maybe I just got the barber bug. If you're enjoying this and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe to the channel and you will get more. Join the Thousandaire community and be a part of the consistency. I by no means think people should be doing exactly what I'm doing, but I do think you should be doing something beneficial, consistently. In fact, many beneficial things, consistently. And who better to know what those things might be than you? Some habits may not even be a physical treasure. For instance, I started walking 12,000 steps a day 34 days ago, stacking those steps for some easy health to go with my wealth. And it's getting easier as I go. I say it's easy because I believe it's the easiest way to maintain your health. There are unbelievable benefits to walking daily. And I believe it's much easier than paying doctors for ailments that are accrued down the road from an otherwise sedentary lifestyle. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, so they say. Sounds good to me. I have over $30 face of silver $50 here. Some are nice and some are meh. In many cases, the capsules are probably not warranted, and I am aware of it. I will say I only paid 24 cents a capsule, and I still have many in here that I do believe are worth protecting. I make YouTube videos, so I stack and unstack these several times a week. Also, I think it makes them look more interesting. I think the $50 look amazing, and the price is right. Like I said before, it gives me exposure to silver with lower premiums, at least than the silver dollars. If silver should spike really high, then yes, I would sell some of these. I compare them to generic silver, as in I buy these instead of generic silver. I think the price is comparable. I may have to break out the calculator again, so maybe I'm off. I'm really admiring this pile of old money. If you didn't figure it out already, I enjoy me some toning, some patina or oxidation, and maybe even a little grime. It tells a story about the life of that coin. It can also be an indicator of authenticity. Apparently, the coin companies can tell natural toning from unnatural toning. You know what? Let me just ask ChatGPT. All right, so I asked it, can professional coin graders decipher the difference between natural and unnatural toning on a coin? And it replied, yes, professional coin graders can usually distinguish between natural and unnatural toning on a coin. Natural toning occurs over time due to the chemical reaction between the coin's metal and its environment, creating a variety of colors on the coin's surface. Unnatural or artificial toning, on the other hand, is typically the result of someone intentionally speeding up the process using chemicals or heat to enhance the coin's appearance. Professional graders are trained to recognize subtle differences between the two. Natural toning often displays a more even, gradual transition of colors, and the patterns tend to follow known toning characteristics based on the coin's storage conditions. Artificial toning, in contrast, might appear more irregular with unnatural sharp lines or spots, unusual color combinations, or an inconsistent look that doesn't match known patterns of natural oxidation. The admiration of toning kind of reminds me of gemologists who really love inclusions. I mean, if you think about it, it's the imperfections that add our character. And it's the same for valuable material, somewhat. You know, this is shaping up to be a pretty good ponder. I really enjoyed that info on toning myself. If you're a regular here, friendo, trust me, I understand where you're coming from. You see, I too watch Thousandaire radio videos, sometimes several in a row. I'm always checking the comments and commenting on comments. I know I'm biased, hear me out, but I would probably have to say this is my favorite YouTube channel. The other day, I bought a coffee in a drive-thru. I know. I still use the thermos, okay? Once in a while. Anyhow, the teller at the register was out of nickels. And I could only get $10 instead of $20 worth of nickels from the bank. Is the nickel apocalypse finally here? You may laugh, but check out this article from March 21st, 2023 from Fortune.com. JP Morgan is the unlucky owner of the fake nickel uncovered by the London Metal Exchange. Really, just bags of rocks. The London Metal Exchange announced Friday that several nickel shipments didn't actually contain the valuable metal, and reports soon revealed they actually contained bags of rocks. What does it all mean? I don't know. You can speculate in the comments below. I'd like to read it. I mostly buy nickels for the copper. By the way, these bars were gifted to me. I did not buy them. I usually do not buy copper bars or copper rounds. I do understand that they're collectible, and if you're flipping them, more power to you. I too like collectibles. I just choose other collectibles. I can definitely see the appeal. And I too have the urge to splurge on these, although I resist it mostly. I am happy to have these, though. I find them very aesthetically pleasing. Today, this is $2.64 worth of copper. That's what both of them equal. I'm not talking about each. I do want big copper bars, but we're going to figure out how to do it some other way. I just can't get myself to pay what they want. I know there's work to make them. I just don't want to pay it. All right, another habit. This one's kind of glorious. I buy one of these Centenarios every 6 months. 2.4 ounces of gold each year. I'm going to need a raise at work. Also, I'm still buying Bitcoin each weekend. I know you're excited about that. Probably not, but what can I say? I owe a lot of my stack to Bitcoin. And I personally believe it's about to take off again. I know, it's too easy to be true. It's so predictable, but the supply is fixed, unlike any other commodity. We have never had anything like it. The first ever global decentralized payment network. Today is August 19, 2024. I suspect a year from now, things should get pretty interesting. I imagine I'll either be much wealthier or much broker. I guess we'll see. Either way, all my eggs are not in one basket. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Last chance to hit that like button, because that's it. That is it. Thousandaire Radio, wicked shout. I do eat fruits and vegetables, I promise. I just don't find them noteworthy of recording. The villagers don't cheer when the hunting party brings back lettuce. It's been a while since I've had some medium eggs. My flip, it's off. All right, I'm gonna slow cook some baby back ribs today. I got the day off, why not? I paid like $2.50 a pound for these. They were in my chest freezer. You gotta have a chest freezer.